This is CW Sports.
Big day here on CW Sports. We begin in South Bend, Indiana. NC State taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Welcome you to South Bend, Indiana, and the CW Pre-Tip Show, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. The NC State Wolfpack taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Alongside the former Georgia Tech star, Lethal Weapon 3 fame, Brian Oliver, I'm Tom Brenneman. Great to have you with us. Look, today's a matchup of teams playing for very different reasons. Let's begin with NC State and our progressive game preview, trying to get that double bye for the ACC tournament.
Well, Tom, it's always that, because here's the thing is that when you have the opportunity to get that double bye, you don't have to worry about trying to play the 5 games, and it's already an opportunity for you to step in, play some teams that have already played, and this North Carolina State team already with 10 wins. So what you want to do is you want to continue to hold the ground. You see right there in their rearview mirror, you've got North Carolina and Clemson. As you get to the end of the season, all of these games matter because, again, you want to go into the tournament with momentum.
You know, for NC State, you look at their three-point shooting. The bottom line is if they make them, they're really good, and if they don't make them, they struggle.
And this is the team that shoots the lights out of it. They are first in the league as far as how they make them, as far as the percentage at 39%. They've got 4 dudes that are shooting over 40%.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is they're going to come out and try to get them in transition. If you get a double out, they're going to keep the ball out. You have guys that are going to look to get that 3-ball up, and it's essential for them and how Will Wade wants to play today.
All right, let's shift gears to Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are just trying to get into the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament. We go look at the bottom part of the standings in the ACC, and Notre Dame is right there, trying to get to Wake Forest or hold off Boston College, Pitt, and Georgia Tech. Bottom line is you got to win this last week of the season.
Oh, absolutely, and we've talked about the teams in the upper parts of the standings that want to make sure that they make it and get into the double bye. You have them, and basically, as Michael Shrewsbury said, it's been a season of hell for them because of the injuries. Today is a very big, important game for them because they want to make sure they can come out and get this win. They do have an important piece back that's really going to help them.
We'll get to him in just a minute. You heard the comments from Coach Shrewsbury after the blowout loss to Duke 4 days ago.
It's like, the season of hell continues. We embrace tomorrow, and if we just keep getting chances and opportunities, we're going to keep fighting our way to see what happens.
Okay, maybe you can go from hell at the minimum to purgatory here today, because you do have Harrelson back, and we've not seen him for the better part of 2 weeks, and man, he's a player now.
Well, here's the thing. He's the leading scorer for this team, and you look at that, almost 16 points a game. He's a guy that can go get you a bucket. Going to make it a lot easier on the three-point shooters for Notre Dame as well. And when you're battling to try to get a game, you definitely need to be able to have your best players on the floor this afternoon.
And, of course, one of those shooters, and we saw him with a career high here 2 weeks ago today, Cole Serta. Man, when he is hot, he is hot.
Hey, talking about hot, this is the dude that can flat out shoot the rock. He's got some swag with him. You see the fact that third most among players in the power forward with his points per game. Love the fact that he gets that 3-ball going. Definitely going to be a lot of excitement here today.
Well, with Harrelson back, it should help Serta. We'll see how it goes for the Fighting Irish. We're back with the starting lineups on CW Sports. Take a look at our starting lineups, and you'll notice it. Harrelson is not in the starting lineup, but Brian, he's back.
Well, here's the thing is that you allow him to come into the game, get some type of rhythm. Those guys out there are going to set the tone for them, and he can come in and fill in and give you immediate scoring off the bench.
We thank you for watching. The CW Pre-Tip Show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers 24/7 protection when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycle. Learn more at progressive.com. Opening tip coming up next. Welcome to CW Courtside Saturday, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. All right, Dr. Oliver, here we go. Let's get right to it. Our Sky Rizzy keys to the game.
So I'm going to say for North Carolina State, one of the things you have to do is establish a pace. We talked about the fact that this team is going to put up a ton of threes, but they want to get up and down. The other thing is attack the inside early. By doing that, that's going to force the help and allow you to get those threes uncontested. For Notre Dame, you got to have an aggressive start. You understand that you don't have a lot of your guys, and you have to come out and get this crowd involved early, and you got to get hot from three.
Yep.
This is also a team that's got three-point shooters. They need to get them going early.
All right, here we go. Lubin to tip it off against Carson Tout, and the Fighting Irish have the first possession. We're underway from the Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center in South Bend, Indiana. Again, Harrelson is back today. If you're just tuning in, he is not in the starting lineup, has not played in over 2 weeks. We were here a couple of weeks ago when he rolled that ankle on a Friday practice before the Georgia Tech game, and Serta had 37 points in the game. Shot clock down to 1, and it's not going to fall for Logan Imes. Here comes the Wolfpack at the other end. How about that move right there? A beauty right out of the gate by Copeland.
And Copeland's got that razzle-dazzle in his game. You know, again, we talk about the fact that for North Carolina State, they want to get in transition. Nice finish with around the rim.
NC State looking for its 20th win of the season, its 11th win in the Atlantic Coast Conference. This is only the 4th time in the last 35 years the Wolfpack have won 10 or more in the conference, and a good start. Back-to-back buckets from Quadir Copeland.
And again, Copeland's one of those guys when he can get out in transition at 6'6", finishes well around the rim. North Carolina State already with 4 fast break points to open the afternoon.
Shrewsbury, the coach's son, taking it to the rack. Wildly puts it up there, but it'll go to the free throw line.
Tommy talked about North Carolina State and how they want to get out and run. Watch this little nifty move by Copeland. A little reverse action. A little spin right there. It's like, now you see me, now you don't. Okay, Brady Shrewsbury, I'm going to holler at you a little bit later. You can get that one out of the net.
Of course, Braden Shrewsbury is the son of head coach Micah Shrewsbury. And, you know, you talk about a season of hell, as he said it. During the game, he tore his Achilles tendon on the sideline. So he's not going to be getting up. He's using a walker roller just to get around, and has to have surgery once the season is over.
I mean, just imagine with the injuries that they have had throughout the season. Talking about icing on the cake.
No kidding. No kidding. Chance of a takeaway. Copeland able to get it back. Keep an eye out for number 2, McNeil Jr. He leads the Atlantic Coast Conference in three-point shooting. These guards are big for State. They'll do a lot of this because they have a size advantage, and able to follow it is Lubin.
And Lubin's one of those dudes that's going to sit back and do a lot of cleanup. Talk about how these guards dominate a lot of the ball. He's going to get down there and get those offensive rebounds. You saw the putback then.
Lubin started his collegiate career, believe it or not, here at Notre Dame, going back to 22-23. Played 1 season here before going to Vanderbilt. He was there for a year, North Carolina last year, and NC State to wrap it up this year. Kick it in the corner. Short by Logan Imes. Wolfpack trying to add to a 6-2 advantage. 2.5 minutes into the game. And there's a 3 buried by Darian Williams, their leading scorer at 14 per game.
And that was set up by Copeland, get into the lane. That time we talked about the fact that he's going to do a good job of probing the lane, forced to help, gets that one out for that 3. And we talked about it in the open. North Carolina State's got 4 dudes that shoot from behind the arc at 40% as a clip.
Lee Torben, our statistician, fed us the information before the game, and Will Wade said, yep, spot on. When we make threes, we win. When we don't make threes, we lose. And that'll be a blocking call. And to back that up, if NC State shoots better than 38% from 3, they're 13-1. If they're under 38%, they're 6-8.
Well, and with the lineup that they have, you can see earlier in this game that they are going to get out and push the tempo. They're going to shoot the threes inside, and you see Harrelson come into the game. This is one of those teams, again, that with the 4-guard lineup, they can switch 1 to 4, and then they've got a ton of playmakers that can go and create and get those shots up early.
9-2. Alley-oop, what an inbounds play that is, and they find Lubin, and Coach Shrewsbury says time out. What a start for the Wolfpack.
And you've seen them come out. That was one of the things that they've set their pace up early. They've come out and they've been able to execute, get everything going. Watch the back screen. You get them on the back side. You get Lubin wide open. Gets him a dunk. Get the big man involved. And right now, North Carolina State has come out clicking on all cylinders.
Tell you what, Will Wade, what a hire it's turning out to be. The Clemson grad is only 43 years old. He's already won 265 games. Everybody knows his story. Head coach at Chattanooga, 40 wins in 2 years. Went to VCU. Went to 2 NCAA tournaments. And then at LSU, 5 years, 3 NCAAs. But then the probation while he was at LSU. Went to McNeese State. And what an incredible job. 2 years there, 50 wins in the Wolfpack. And their athletic director, Boo Corrigan, made the decision to give him another chance at the big time.
Well, you heard him when he came in. As you see Braden Shrewsbury not come up with that one, is that he came in and said, this is not a rebuild. He knew that he was going to come in and expect to be good early, and he hit the portal. NIL money that they put into the program allowed them to be able to come in and get good well early. And you see Wolfpack off for another fast break opportunity come up short.
Sir Muhammad checks into the game. Don't leave him alone because he'll bury it all day long. Cole Serta.
And you and I have been here and we've seen Cole Serta get hot. And it's one of the things that for Notre Dame, they're going to need a big afternoon for him because, again, his ability to knock down that three is going to get things going early.
On the other end, that's the ACC's leading three-point shooter, McNeil. His first miss from 3. Serta way out. Oh my, look out, look out.
Again, no hesitation, but that's what you have when Harrelson's on the floor. Penetrate, get the ball out there, and you know Serta's not going to hesitate at all.
Tell you what, Serta a year ago, he played in only 18 games, averaged 2 points per game. But this year, after injuries to Burton and Harrelson, he's getting a chance, and man, is he taking advantage of that. We were here 2 weeks ago. He had 37. Look at Harrelson. Lubin may have gotten a piece of it. Holloman going to be off the mark. Oh, my!
Big fella running. Again, you know North Carolina State's going to shoot a lot of threes, but you see Lubin down there crashing the boards. You've already seen the big fella get 2 rim-rattling dunks already.
And Alan Lubin with 6 for the Wolfpack. Here's Serta. He can go to the basket, too, now. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. Uh-oh, open again. Bang, bang.
3 in a row for him. Good setup by Braden Shrewsbury. Forced to help. Cole Serta's already got 3 threes early.
He had 7 that game we were here 2 weeks ago. Copeland to the basket, and he'll draw the foul. You know, the thing about this NC State team, and we'll get to it when we come back, but their guards, man, are so big and physical. How about this, O'Brien?
I know it's about physical. How about Lubin saying, hey, you know what? I can go ahead and finish myself. We'll pack up early by 2.
All right, coaches play hurt, too. We remember Charlie Weiss as our CW courtside Saturday is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. Matty Patricia back in his days with the Lions. Now at Ohio State, Chris Finch in the NBA.
Yep.
And now, Micah Shrewsbury.
Well, Micah understands, man. You know, in this gun of the season, there's no chance for a DNP as you see him wheeling himself back around on that stool. And again, your heart has to go out for him because, again, not only have they been decimated with the injuries throughout the season, but it's hard when your coach goes down.
Said he was just trying to get out of the way of a player coming off near the sideline, stepped the wrong way, and they'll have surgery to replace that torn Achilles once this season is over. That is a rare miss for Copeland from the line. 77% free throw shooter.
You see Copeland, and they often say that players take on personalities of their coach. I kind of feel like between Copeland and Will Wade, I mean, those guys have a synergy because, again, Will Wade is a fiery type of coach. And when you see Copeland how he's playing, I mean, that dude plays with a lot of energy.
Well, remember, he was there with Will Wade at McNeese State and then transferred to NC State. 14-11, Wolfpack. And just off the bench is Matt Abel, the freshman out of Baltimore.
Abel's one of those dudes that comes in, an active body, puts the ball on the deck and get to the rim. You saw what that level of explosion was, just to get there and finish quickly before defense can come over to help.
They double team Serta. That's Muhammad in the lane.
And Muhammad's been that guy in the past that has given them that quick offense off the bench. They're definitely going to need him. I love the fact that that pick and roll had him to slip for that little runner.
Wolfpack leads by 3. Lubin working on Sundra down there, and Sundra got a piece. Well defended there by Sundra. Shrewsbury, another guy now. You better find him. Look at this. That's way out.
That was a heat check.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Muhammad, a rare 3. He had Shrewsbury wide open for a 3. And he looked to his right, and Shrewsbury's a guy, one of the guys for Notre Dame you want shooting that 3.
And they got to get him going. The last 2 games, he struggled a little bit. Only 2 for 22 and 2 for 16. He's one of those guys, again, with that 3 ball, 4th in ACC in percentage and 3rd in makes. Got to get him going this afternoon.
Yeah, Shrewsbury, in fact, did not score a point against Duke in the worst loss since the late 1800s at home for a Notre Dame basketball team.
You see turnover by Holloman, and that's uncharacteristic for Will Wade's team. They're first in the conference in assist to turnover ratio. They do a good job of taking care of the ball. As you see right now, them extending their defense.
First turnover for NC State. You talked about taking care. They only average 9 turnovers a game. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by McNeil Jr.
Tom, we've often talked about NC State, and what they want to do is up that tempo. Every time that ball goes into the corner, watch it, they're going to trap. Because of Notre Dame, you got to pay attention and realize as soon as you come over, you got to have a guy flash and make them pay for that double team.
Musa Shanye checks in for the first time for NC State, 6'10" freshman from Gambia. Shot clock at 5. Muhammad's going to have to put it up. Nope. Fires to the corner. Serta. And I think it's going to be a foul from behind on Serta. He pushed to get that rebound. So Sundra with his first foul. Sophomore out of Ashburn, Virginia. Minutes have passed here in the opening half, and NC State with a 3-point lead. Arsenault off the bench and drills a 3. Terrence Arsenault.
And great redirection of that pick and roll, forced to help a little bit. Arsenault gets an uncontested 3. And the amount of 3s that this team gets up, we already talked about the fact that they are first in the league in percentage and second in makes.
Muhammad along the baseline, and he thought he traveled, but apparently was hacked on the arm beforehand. So NC State early on with a couple of threes. Just got one from Terrence Arsenault off the bench to give them a 6-point lead in South Bend. You're watching CW Courtside Saturday, presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers 24/7 protection when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycles. Learn more at progressive.com. And by DirecTV. Stream DirecTV satellite free. Will Wade, wherever he goes, he wins. Well, we had a fascinating conversation with athletic director Boo Corrigan about, look, the decision to hire him after everything that went down at LSU. And Wade was extremely forthcoming, owned it all, had 2 great years at McNeese State, and he's looking to take the Wolfpack to the NCAA. Good chance of that happening. Very good.
Absolutely. You look at his resume already, 4 quad 1 victories, 7 quad 2 victories as well. And I think the net sitting right at 28. All they have to do is continue to press on how they have. Had a fascinating season up until now.
Yeah, they're coming off a poor game against Virginia. That's a nice move by Sir Muhammad right there.
Yeah, Muhammad's one of those guys that can put the ball on the deck and go get you a basket. Again, for a team that needs someone to step up, you've already got Cole Serta that's going. They can really use Muhammad's offense this afternoon as well.
There's another turnover by NC State. Numbers the other way. They give it right back to Muhammad. He should have gone up. He looked for a bounce pass.
Yeah, I thought that when he got that ball back, he should have powered it through. Got to take advantage when you get in transition, because you understand that North Carolina State is not traditionally going to turn the ball over like they have.
I think we have an injured player. Looks like it's Sanye. And he's going to leave. They don't have a lot of depth on this NC State team. They've had a couple of players already hurt and or leave the program.
Oh, he twists that right ankle. And as you mentioned, we talk about their guard play. Really thin when it comes into, backups for Lubin. As you see Williams come back into the game, a smaller lineup on the floor for Will Wade's ball club.
Abel for 3 off the front iron. Tout playing his final collegiate game, his 138th game. And from 3, it's Ryder Frost, the freshman.
And good vision by Sir Muhammad. Saw Ryder wide open. Defense was trying to focus on Cole Serta. Right now, pace has really benefited Notre Dame early.
1-point lead for NC State. Here's McNeil to the rack with a left hand and got it to go.
And nice move back, McNeil Jr. You know that this is a player that wants to shoot the 3. 77% of his shots are from behind the arc. You want to crowd him. That last time did a great job of getting past Tout for the finish at the cup.
Tell you what, he's going to be a big-time scorer in this conference the next couple of years, McNeil Jr. And here's Tout working on smaller defender. Fires out for a 3, not going to be there. Into Muhammad for the easy lay-in.
Muhammad just hanging out right there. Defense worries so much about boxing out Tout. Allows him to get an early one.
Muhammad already more points than he averages per game. Averages 5, he has 6, and there's the ACC's leading 3-point shooter, McNeil.
You talk about him and being a good scorer. This is a dude that has the North Carolina high school record with 71 points in the game.
Hey, by the way, with their first 3 in the game today, NC State has already set a school record for most threes in a season. They had 294 of them in 04 and 05, and now they're knocking on the door at 300. All new episodes of Trivial Pursuit air every Thursday right here on CW. But let's test your basketball trivia knowledge right now. What NC State player scored 37 in a win over Notre Dame's run during the Wolfpack's 83 national championship season?
You know what? I'm going to go with
37.
Derek Wittenberg.
Oh, boy. You're good.
Is it him?
It's him.
Oh, wow. My man win. I'm going to do that can flat out shoot the rock.
under the late great Jimmy B. How about the arc in that right there? And I thought he was fouled.
Imes is one of those dudes also that as of late has picked up his offense. And you see right now Notre Dame doing a good job of getting some offense. You see that last time, a little upset on the call. Tom, you and I talked about one of the things that for Notre Dame is that you need to get some three-point shooting, and you see Imes knock down that shot. Watch the rainbow. Sit back and it leaves the screen and comes back. It was like nothing but net.
Good game. 1-point game. Closing in on the 8-minute mark here in the opening stanza. McNeil will let it fly. He forced that one a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Good battle down there between Lubin and Tao. A little nifty move by Muhammad.
How about that? From his belly, Shrewsbury passes up the three. His confidence must be waning right now.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that he's struggling. You know, he needs to get a couple of easy ones because they're going to need this afternoon.
Muhammad has given them a huge lift off the bench, and he draws a foul in the lane. And Muhammad, as you talked about, he's one of those guys. You don't know what you're going to get, but, man, when he's bringing it, he's bringing it.
Yeah, he's giving them the offense they definitely need it right now. Notre Dame down by 1.
Tuesday on NXT after last week's shocking betrayal. Zaria continues her vindication tour and challenges JC Jane for the next NXT Women's Championship. That's Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the CW. 24-23 with the former Georgia Tech star Brian Oliver. I'm Tom Brenneman, our entire CW Sports crew on hand from South Bend, Indiana.
We came out talking about North Carolina State and the amount of threes that they put in, but Notre Dame actually has come out and they've been shooting the lights out of right now already. 5 for 10 from 3, and I think the fact that they've been able to get multiple guys to score has definitely been a bright spot for them early.
Yeah, 3 different Notre Dame players, Imes, Serta, and Frost, with 3-pointers made in a game. Cal rarely ever shoots. Harrelson checks back in. Shot clock at 5. They better get moving. Tout into the corner. Shrewsbury still really struggling right now. 6 points total in his last 2 games, and it was 6 games ago because we mentioned he did not score against Duke.
And my thought was always shoot to get hot,
Yep.
shoot to stay hot.
Well, you played with one guy in particular.
Yeah, and here's the thing is that if you're Braden Shrewsbury, you got to keep putting those temps up because your team needs it. And all he needs to get one or two of them to go. And then that problem would not sit. As you see, Copeland there was able to bait Tout into that offensive foul.
Yeah, when you played with Dennis Scott, of course, you were Kenny Anderson, you three known as Lethal Weapon 3, get to the Final Four. It always comes to mind that old Chad Johnson football line. I think it probably was true for Scott. 3 things are sure in life: death, taxes, and I'm always open.
You know what? And again, nice move by Lubin. And playing with those guys too is amazing after 30+ years. When you look back at how we were able to play, perfect compliment.
Yep.
Because of the fact we had an unselfish point guard in Kenny Anderson that to this day is probably one of the great point guards in college basketball.
No doubt about it.
And in New York history. But then you got a guy like Dennis Scott that made my life easier because of the fact that he was open soon as he came into the gym.
Lubin knocks it down. Fastest growing cable news network is News Nation. Respecting all Americans and news for all Americans. Find News Nation by going to newsnationnow.com. Of course, the biggest story in America today: the bombing of Iran by both the United States and Israel. So News Nation will have the very latest on all of that.
You see that last time Lubin splits the free throws. Got a funky little hitch in his free throw. Shoots it at 69% though, but apparently doesn't matter how you get it up there as long as it goes in.
And the first bucket since returning by Jalen Harrelson.
Harrelson was able to get to the cup. Tout was able to screen his man and cleared the pathway for him to get that first one. Again, good to have him back, especially with his ability to get to the basket.
And we are tied for the first time since this game started. Lubin bumped and got it to go. Boy, what a first half he's having.
Yeah, he's first in the league in field goal percentage, and basically it's just a bull. Give him the ball and let him just go down. He puts his shoulder into the defender.
He averages 13. He already has 9. They lob it, and a poor decision there by Kaler.
Yeah,
That's good defense.
Yeah, if you're Kaler, you got to get out that ball sooner. You can't wait for him. You see right there, Abel in the penetration. Oh, watch this last one. Watch the clear out right there by Tout. Clears the pathway by Harrelson, and on the other end, he's in a little duck right there. And then Lubin's going to put his shoulder down, just gets right down, realizing that Kaler can do nothing to stop him from getting to the basket.
Lubin recruited here by Mike Bray, and that's when he signed to come to South Bend as a freshman. Got a lot of playing time his first year. And another missed free throw by NC State. This is a team that shoots 76% from the line as a team.
And North Carolina State's doing a good job of keeping Notre Dame on the perimeter. You saw a time when Sir Muhammad was able to penetrate. That's how those threes are going to come for them.
Cloud is an excellent passer, gives it up, and off the mark for Harrelson. NC State coming the other way with a 2-point lead, 5.5 to go. Step back three. Oh, wow, by Trey Holloman, his first bucket of the game.
And Holloman with a little bit of a step back right there. Was able to get the separation with Sir Muhammad. And again, he's one of those players also that doesn't get a lot of credit, but does a good job of being able to run this ball club and then hit timely threes.
Former captain a year ago at Michigan State under Tom Izzo, playing in his final year in Raleigh. Harrelson. You know this is going up. Got fouled, and they called an offensive foul.
You know why? Because he hooked him. He gave him the hook and hold. Wait till the crowd watch this play right about there, and that's a no-no. Crowd's not happy about it, but he had him, but he just had that little hook and hold right there.
And Harrelson's going to have to leave the game. That's his second foul in limited minutes, his first game back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them. But then again, you still like the pace that Notre Dame has been playing at. This North Carolina State team, they've done a good job of being able to guard the three. Right now, North Carolina State 4 for 8.
Holloman again.
Bam.
And nothing but the bottom of the net for Trey Holloman.
Well, you remember I told you, they've got 4 guys on this team that shoot it at a clip about 40%. Holloman is one of those dudes, man, that can shoot it.
And when they're hitting threes, they are lethal. It's a team you could see making a big run in the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
And it's the quality of shots that they get too, Tom, as you see Truesman. That's going to be great for his confidence, because again, for him to be able to get one to go, I'm going to tell you, guys that sometimes are struggling, once you see the ball go in, it makes it a lot easier.
That snaps an 8-0 run. And beautiful pass, but McNeil Jr. cannot make the layup. Shrewsbury. Well, that's great defense,
yeah, good
by
defense.
Copeland.
Great close out by Coleman. And again, you see on this side, Holloman was like, hey, I got it. You're watching CW Courtside, Saturday presented by Allstate. Wolfpack down by up 6.
You're watching CW Courtside, Saturday, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. 33-27. Turnovers and the points off turnovers. Look at those turnovers for Notre Dame.
And that's one of the things that if you're fighting for your playoff lives, in a sense, you have to make sure that you value the basketball, because you understand that this North Carolina State team, they want to get in transition. We highlight the fact that they shoot the threes, but that's how they want to do is they want to turn you over, get in transition, and knock down the threes. And that's one of the things that when you look at how close this game is, you clean that up and continue to probe. I think that they got to find better ways to probe that lane, and that will open up the threes for them.
Notre had those 3 threes in the first, 6-7 minutes, and we've not heard from him since.
Well, here's the thing is that you saw that last time before the break that Copeland did a great job of being able to defend and understand that you want to put him on, make him put the ball on the floor.
33-27. Wolfpack in front. Holloman a couple of threes. And now another three attempt, and this time off the mark. And Notre Dame with a chance to shave that lead.
And I think that when you look at it is that you need to see get some kind of penetration either from Imes or Muhammad.
Harrelson on the Notre Dame bench with a couple of fouls. Here's Serta, defended by Williams. Shot clock at 10. Beautiful pass.
Good pass, and what happened is that you saw when Imes came out, they realized that they had to come out and honor him in his ability to make the three. You saw the slip by Tout. Great read by Imes to get Tout. Easy one.
Tout, a rebounding machine, rarely ever scores. He's only had one game of more than 10, and then answering the other end is Williams.
You swing the ball over, and Copeland realized got Williams over there, catch and shoot dude. Doesn't hesitate, gets that one up.
Serta double team. There's Imes for three. Yes! His second.
And great penetration by Serta. You have to honor the fact he's a three-point shooter. Gets it over to Shrewsbury, passes up a good shot to get over a better shot by Imes.
Lubin has had a monster first half. That gives him 11, and he'll go to the free throw line to tack on another.
One time we often talk about the fact with this four-guard lineup that you have to honor that pick and roll because they want to shoot the threes. And they do a good job of getting the roll, and then you see Serta too late. He gets over there, tries to lock up Lubin. Lubin, again, we've talked about how powerful he's been. Playing through contact, an opportunity to go and get an old-fashioned three-point play.
You know, he's not all that tall, but man, he is a bull, isn't he?
Oh, and he's playing strong. When you look at already 11 points, opportunity for 12. When you look at the night afternoon that he's had.
2 of 3 from the line is Van Allen Lubin, and a 7-point lead.
Perfect compliment to the fact that, you know, a team that wants to shoot so many threes, when you've got a big guy that can score like he does down low, keeps the defense honest.
I've thought about it, goes into
nice penetration. Talk about the fact that Notre Dame needed someone to score. How about Logan Imes in his first half? He's come out. I like the fact that he's been active and done a good job of trying to get downhill.
He has 8 points in the game. He only averages 4. Trying to defend the stronger Copeland. And he lays it in. Nicely done.
And then he gives the Imes the too little sign there. But hey, when at that side, you're going to see that he's going to do a good job of trying to post smaller guards when he has opportunity.
A minute 15 to go until halftime. 7-point lead for the Wolfpack. Shrewsbury kicks it out in the corner. Muhammad passed it up. He'll go to the lane instead.
Nice move, and again, Sir Muhammad, that started out with the penetration by Shrewsbury. Muhammad opted not to shoot the three, gets downhill. We've talked about the fact that for him, every chance he gets, he's going to try to get to the cup. Beautiful finish.
Under a minute to go. Muhammad's been a monster off the bench for Notre Dame. Way out there. Oh, my gosh. Can McNeil shoot it?
Man, you saw great contesting, good closeout, but that time is one of those things that good D, but better offense. Talk about McNeil. Once he gets locked in.
McNeil has 8. He averages 14 a game. The Wolfpack's second leading scorer. 20 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. It's been a late run here after the teams were tied at 25 apiece. It's been a 19-11 Wolfpack run. And Muhammad will go to the free throw line with 2.1 to go.
And we've talked about the fact that Muhammad's one of those guys that when you give him the rock, and it's good for him to be able to get downhill and draw that foul.
I'd like to remind you, coming up on the halftime show presented by Subaru, love. It's what makes Subaru, Subaru. We'll send it down to the Lone Star State in Texas for our O'Reilly Auto Parts coverage. And NASCAR, And we'll tell you what else is happening around the Atlantic Coast Conference. And by the way, Virginia and Duke are playing today, the top two teams in the ACC. And it's been all Duke in that opening half.
You look at it, if Muhammad makes this one, an opportunity to go down, potentially down by 6. But the numbers that Florida State has put up, North Carolina State, 60%. Shooting 58 from behind the arc already.
All right, so that makes it a 6-point game. Muhammad will lead. Boy, what a half he has had. He has 10 points. He averages 5. All right, last second, and not going to go. I tell you, exciting first half.
It has, and you've seen both teams come out and shoot the ball well. I think that Notre Dame has got multiple guys that have scored. You see North Carolina State has done a good job of inside, outside, got the 3 ball to get going. And how about Lubin in the first half he's had?
Lubin has had a great first half. 12 points to go along with 3 rebounds. He leads all scorers at the intermission. So lots coming up on our halftime show. You're watching CW Courtside Saturday. Presented by Allstate. 44-38 Wolfpack at the break. Welcome to CW's Halftime Show, presented by Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Gorgeous campus here at Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. Sunsplash Saturday. We've got basketball right now coming up right after us. We're headed down to Texas, and let's check in with Adam Alexander. All right, Adam, can't wait for that. Then later today, we have ACC basketball with Syracuse at Wake Forest. We're back with more from South Bend of the Subaru Halftime Show in just a moment. Welcome back to the campus of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. Our halftime show presented by Subaru. Well, we're at halftime and back with Brian Oliver. Standings in the ACC. NC State trying to get that double bye. Brian, what would that mean to the Wolfpack or any team for that matter?
Well, obviously is that you don't have to come out and you have to go through the grind of playing for 4 days in those 4 games. You look at those teams we've talked about, as you get towards the end of the season, Tom, a lot of teams still jockeying because, again, you're going after that much coveted double bye. You got some teams still trying to play into the tournament. And so with 3 games left to go, you're going to still a lot of jockeying moving as it comes down. You got to be excited because it's going to be nerve-wracking as you get to the end of the season.
And, of course, Notre Dame, we've talked about it already, trying to get into the ACC tournament in this final week of the season. All right, we'll go through some of the stats, some of the numbers of the opening 20 minutes when we're back with more of the Subaru Halftime Show. Welcome back to the Subaru Halftime Show. 6-point lead for NC State, looking for number 20 in the win column this season with a victory today, which would be the 8th Atlantic Coast Conference team this year to reach that 20-win mark. Back with Brian Oliver, Tom Brenneman. We weren't sure really what to expect. I mean, both teams coming off bad losses. NC State's had a really good year. We talked about the injuries with Notre Dame. It's been an exciting first 20 minutes of the game.
It has been, especially when you saw how North Carolina State came out. It looked like they may have run Notre Dame out of the gym, but then Notre Dame was able to regather themselves. They had some guys step up. We advertised the fact that this North Carolina State team is the one that's going to shoot the ball well from behind the arc. Notre Dame has done a good job, but I think that when you look at North Carolina State, we talked about that. They're second in the conference in makes. They lead the conference in percentage, and this is one of the things that they do. They shoot the rock real well. Already in that first half, 7 for 12 from 3, and it's how they're doing it. They do a good job of getting those quality of shots. We talk about the fact that you got 4 dudes that shoot above, but for Notre Dame, I thought Sir Muhammad came in and gave them that huge lift off the bench. We've talked about him with his ability to probe the lane and get downhill. Had some really good buckets where he came out with his energy and just flat out hustling. Time when you're trying to play to kind of go for your playoff lines, you need a dude to step up, and I think that he's done that for them.
Take a look at our Subaru halftime statistics. Turnovers certainly a big story in this game.
And that's one of the things that when you look at how Notre Dame has really shot the three, one less three made, it's the turnovers. Those points of the turnovers, if you can limit those, because that's 10 extra points, and they've got to do a better job at how they're guarding Lubin, because he has been huge for them with 12 points as well for North Carolina State.
Thank you for watching the halftime show presented by Subaru Love. It's what makes Subaru. Subaru should be an entertaining second half coming up from South Bend, Indiana. Welcome back to CW Courtside Saturday, presented by Allstate. All right, we go through the keys to the game before we get started. Now that we're 20 minutes in, Brian, any changes for you?
Well, I think that if anything, we talked about North Carolina State and them establishing their pace. I think that they've done that. They want to continue to do that with their defense. They've done a good job of attacking inside. We talked with 20 points in the paint, and then Lubin has done well. For Notre Dame, an aggressive start early. I think that for them, coming out of the second half, you need that to be able to chip away at that lead. And we talked about get hot from three. They've already made 6 threes. I still think that in some way, you need Braden Shrewsbury to get into this game, because up until now, it's been done by committee.
Serta had 9 in the first 7 minutes of the opening half, did not score again. They really did a nice job, State did, on him defensively. So here we go, 6-point lead.
And you see Harrelson starting the second half for the Irish as well.
And then a follow by Lubin picks up where he left off in the first half.
And but here's the thing is that Copeland was able to take Tout. And so after that, Lubin was right on his coattails. No one boxed him out, and you allowed him to get another 2.
Harrelson, one of the most dynamic freshmen in the country, the highest rated Notre Dame recruit in school basketball history. He rolled his ankle 2 weeks ago yesterday when we were here for the Georgia Tech game. They didn't miss him that day because Serta had 37.
Right.
But they have missed him since for sure.
And here's the thing is that his ability to penetrate, finish around the rim is going to open up those attempts for Shrewsbury and Serta, just like Sir Muhammad did in that first half.
Harrelson into the lane. He's got a great body and got it to spin in.
And Tom, that's what I'm saying, was that the fact that he plays with that level of physicality, not many players on the floor from North Carolina State can stop him from getting to where he wants to finish.
Well, you think about these freshmen in the Atlantic Coast Conference, especially, whether it's Harrelson, we know about Caleb Wilson and Cameron Boozer, Okori, among the nation's leading scorers out at Stanford. And a tip in by Lubin with a left hand.
And so what North Carolina State is doing, the penetration is forcing Tout to have to go over. Notre Dame's got to do a better job with their guards of coming over and make sure they put a body on Lubin.
Well, he has been a monster. He had 12 at the half, and he has 2 baskets here in the second half.
So watch down there. See, Imes is left with Lubin. You got to turn around and face guard the big guy, because that's 2 consecutive times where Tout has had to play the ball, and then that's left Lubin to get those offensive boards.
Well, they've got a mismatch here on the switch. Shrewsbury thought about it.
Good defense by Lubin.
Serta, he can make this. And does.
And that's a part of his game, too, that you don't get enough credit. We highlight the threes. That little mid-range game where he's able to get that separation, turn around and finish. They're going to need more of that from him.
And there's another guy. He's only a sophomore. And he's got some big days ahead of him for the Fighting Irish. 2 minutes into this second half. Spread remains the same. Bumped is Copeland. Imes with a foul. Copeland goes to the free throw line.
And if you're Notre Dame, I understand that you want to stay at home and not allow North Carolina State to get those threes. But you cannot leave Logan Imes on an island by himself and allow Copeland to back him down like that.
You know, that's going to be the challenge for a team that plays NC State in the NCAA tournament, is their guards are so big and so physical that if you play man-to-man, and your guards are smaller, you could be in a world of trouble. We'll get to that in a minute. Biggest names in bowling take center stage in the Pete Weber Missouri Classic. The best frame by frame. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on the CW.
But that was one of the things, one of the reasons for one of my keys for attack inside early, because not so much with just Lubin, but how they will randomly post up their guards and how well they shoot the ball. For teams that are going to come in and try to double team, that's going to allow them to kick the ball out, and you know you've got those 4 dudes that we talked about that shoot at such a high clip.
Harrelson to the bucket and lays it in. He looks like he's ready to take command in the second half.
And good side for him because, again, you saw that he came back in, didn't start the game, realized that he comes in now and you see almost a turnover by Harrelson. But his ability, again, continue to get downhill. Watch that little crossover, realizing that he's got Lubin over there, gets downhill. That's eventually going to open up for the shooters because now North Carolina State is going to have to do a better job in how they close down the paint.
McNeil in and out.
He's got a good looking jump shot.
Oh, he does. And he gets up.
He gets high, gets good rhythm on it.
That'll be just a ticky-tack bump there on Holloman.
And you see, every now and then, Shrewsbury's going to have that ball. Anytime that they put Lubin on him, Shrewsbury's got to make up in his mind to get downhill and punish him. That last time, Harrelson realized he's got the big guy on him. Even though he moves those puppies pretty good, you got to punish the big if he's out there on the guard.
Here's Harrelson again. Kicks it out to Imes. Well defended by Copeland. And a three for Imes. Rims out. NC State the other way. 3 minutes into the second half with a 6-point lead. Boy, can they shoot.
And they do such a good job of spacing the floor. You got 4 guys on the perimeter. You have to pick up the roll. That last time, Notre Dame came over on Lubin, and you leave Williams wide open.
Darian Williams, a transfer from Texas Tech. He was one of the top 2 transfer portal players in the country. Boy, he is a big, strong young man, isn't he?
The pass.
And Harrelson will take it himself. Boy, he got bumped.
Yeah, good pass by Serta, and then you saw Harrelson's one of those guys, again, doesn't mind the contact. You see Holloman fell asleep. Copeland's trying to get the ball up.
But this is NC State's game.
Yeah, watch the fact that you saw Imes get pulled by the diver, and then that left the wide open shot by Williams, and then watch this pass by Serta, and then Harrelson gets right there past Copeland. Acrobatic finish.
Copeland working on Serta to the basket. Easy for Copeland.
And again, you need a little Philly in this game because that last time put the ball through his legs. Next time we see that last bucket by Coleman. There's the ball through his legs right there. And now a little walk through. Coleman opened up the lead for North Carolina State.
You're watching CW Courtside Saturday, brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands, and by Freshpet. Healthy food, fresh from the fridge. There's a young man right there, been out for quite some time. He came from Penn State when Micah Shrewsbury left there to come here. Kevin Jine, they really missed him.
Yeah, they have, because again, his presence down low. But I was going to just imagine those guys and the emotions that are going on senior day, and just having your parents with you, significant others. I remember my senior day at Georgia Tech many moons ago. It was against Clemson.
You guys win?
We did win.
Okay, well, you guys won all the time.
See a little bit back down there to Sir Muhammad. Copeland's like, bro, I'm trying to get out of your way.
Quadir Copeland whistled for the foul. Leads his team 7 assists per game, almost 14 points a game. And he is the guy that makes them go. But we mentioned earlier, when they're making threes, they have been virtually impossible to beat. And that's the first bucket since the opening minutes by Cole Serta, his second bucket in the second half.
Nice move by him. Again, we've talked about the fact that he's a three-level type of scorer. He gets a lot of credit for the threes. We've already seen the mid-range game that last time blow up right there.
Heard Serta screaming, no way, no way. They called him for the foul.
Watch the handoff. You guard him for the three, puts his hand down, and then finishes at the rim with the opposite hand. Serta, again, you and I talked about it. He's already had career highs of 34 and 37.
Yep. At 34 against Virginia, that was his career high until the Georgia Tech game. Tout whistled for the foul that will send Lubin to the free throw line.
You see a little level of chippiness, and again, you get two teams here playing, and Washington see Lubin and Tout there going for the ball. The play on the ball, just had a little contact there.
Well, that's a tough foul right there.
Tout's a big dude.
Yes, he is. We remind you, coming up next, in NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, twists and turns from Austin, Texas. Raw racing from Coda coming up next here on the CW as Lubin hits 2, game's leading scorer.
I told you, Lubin's got that little hitch in the free throw, but
yeah,
that bad boy's going in, though. It don't matter how you shoot it as long as it goes in, and he's done a good job also. You see often he's switching out on these guards. And big fella showing that he can shift those puppies a little bit.
Way downtown, Shrewsbury, Notre Dame needed that.
And as I mentioned, that's what you need. If you're going to put your big out there on one of those guards, you're Brandon Shrewsbury. You got to go ahead and go for yours. They're desperately needed him. Like I said, we talked about the fact that he's had his struggles in the last 2 games. Big bucket for him.
Yeah, his first 3 of the game, and now trying to defend the bigger, stronger Williams. That is just textbook right there.
And you've seen time and time again the guards from North Carolina State getting that little ISO, and then you just took Williams and allowed him to basically back down. You got to send some help.
Muhammad gave him incredible minutes in the first half.
He's got to shoot that one. That's too crowded down there for Tout to try to get that. North Carolina State's too good with their active hands.
Abel in the game, and the freshman unable to finish there at the basket, but he'll go to the free throw line, or somebody will. I don't know if they fouled him or there was a push on Lubin trying to get the rebound.
Tom, you and I talked about the North Carolina State guards, and even though they're three-point shooters, their ability to go and put smaller guards in the post. We've seen it already with Copeland. Now that time with Williams, that makes them really good. And you look at going into the NCAA tournament, when you have a team that shoots it as well as they do, teams have to make some type of adjustment.
Abel, 83% from the line. I mean, you know, hey, look, it's another thing when you're looking ahead to a potential run in the NCAA tournament. A team's ability to make free throws. NC State shoots at 76% as a team.
Well, and you look at the fact that they play 4 guys and then Lubin inside. And then the fact that you have that, you know, you got guys that are playmakers. You got guards that can post. You got a big in Lubin that finishes well around the rim. See, Abel not able to finish that one, pardon the pun.
Yeah, well, I threw the jinx on him anyway, talking about how great they are at the line. They're not so great at the line today. I mean, they really, I mean, for them anyway. They're only 67%. Oh, my! Serta off the glass, fading away in the paint. He's going to the free throw line. How did that go in?
Well, you and I've talked about him, man. I mean, this dude he got a bag. And you see that last time. Penetration, little up and up, and again, gets a kiss. And that's one of the things that he's got that in his game where he gets into the lane, does a good job of being able to zip contact and knocks that one down. And as much as we've seen that North Carolina State is starting to get a little bit of a distance, then you get Notre Dame, who narrows it in right now, only down 6.
13:30 to go from South Bend, Indiana, campus of the University of Notre Dame, and that was way off the mark by Williams. So now the Irish a chance to get closer. Muhammad into the lane. It's where he was so effective in the first half. Great D.
Good D by Lubin.
Shot clock at 15. Shrewsbury.
Offensive rebound. Give an opportunity. And seems like they're going to look at this one, or actually going to take a look at Lubin. It seemed like he took a blow to the face that last play. And again, you see the kick out, move the ball out. Again, we say Braden Shrewsbury is one of those guys that got a couple to go. So right now, Shrewsbury, 10 points, already got 2 threes.
And both of those threes have come here in the second half. Something talked about needed to happen at halftime. Kick it out in the corner. And now all of a sudden NC State can't make the three.
But here's the thing, they're doing a better job of rotating over on Lubin and forcing him to get that ball out. Good pass over to Shrewsbury. And again, Sir Muhammad has been great for this team this afternoon. And how about Braden Shrewsbury? Now I'm looking for him to get a little bit more pep in his step. He's got 12 points, 5 points in a row.
8-0 run. Shot clock does not start until he actually picked up that ball.
Oh, what a pass.
What a pass is right. And then unable to finish, and Shrewsbury leads the Irish. A chance to take the lead. Down by one. Serta will not get it. He lost the handle. May have been stripped out of there.
Yeah, Serta thought that he may have been some contact.
And then to the basket, Arsenault off the bench.
And great penetration, because again, when you realize is the fact that North Carolina State, with the lineup that they have on the floor, you have to honor the three-pointer, and that gives them a lot of spacing to get downhill.
3-point game. Boy, the pace of this one is picked up as the Irish have gotten off the deck. You're watching CW Courtside Saturday, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands, and all of a sudden, you said it, Shrewsbury needed to get going, and man, he's got it going.
Well, here's the thing, is that when you got a guy like this that's been struggling, as soon as you can get the ball to start going down, gives you confidence, and you can tell that once he got a couple of them to go, no hesitation, and it was a timely matter, especially in this second half, start getting the three ball to go. And then again, when you got the easy ones, that allows you to get some confidence. And again, we talked about his struggles. The last 2 games, only 6 points, 2 for 22. But look at the day, 12 points, 4 for 6. Expect those field goal attempts to go up now because he's feeling it.
Well, it's been lights out shooting the ball for Notre Dame here in the second half. 75%. I mean, NC State's at 50%. And both teams better than 57% overall in the game.
It's the quality of looks that they're getting to, and I think that you got Harrelson and both Muhammad out there that can penetrate.
He had to fire that one up with a shot clock at 2.
Yeah, good defense by North Carolina State, being able to guard their yard and not force the penetration. And you see Williams right there now with a little bit of a back down.
They've got a mismatch somewhere after the switch. Arsenault into the lane, tough shot. And then lost out of bounds by Serta. It'll be NC State's ball with 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
And what you've seen is that in the second half, Notre Dame doing a better job in how they're guarding the ball.
Garrett Sundra checks back in. Inbounds play. I tell you what, Wade is really drawing up some nice inbounds call under the basket.
Yeah, and how about Abel and how he's come in? Been really impressive in his shot-making ability. And Will Wade doing a good job of being able to have the screener, and guy comes up wide open for that 3.
Got Abel guarding Serta, and Abel fouled him. I believe that is his 3rd personal foul.
And watch him play a little screener action. You have to play it, and you get Abel come over, and the defender passes under the screen, knocks that down. And most time, Tom, is that you have to play that initial action. It's the secondary one that really gets you open. Actually,
that is Abel's 4th foul. He's going to have to lead this game as Serta knocks in the free throw, 2 of 2 at the free throw line.
Abel's coming in and giving them some valuable minutes. I mean, you got McNeil Jr. comes in.
Boy, what a stroke Serta has, doesn't he?
Yeah, I really love his game again because he plays with a little bit of a swag. Because again, not only is a three-point shooter, you've seen him go to the basket, see the mid-range game. Really good player. He's going to be really good for years to come.
Scotty Ibube has checked in for NC State for the first time, number 12. Earlier in the game, you may remember, we saw Sanye leave with an ankle injury, and we were updated that he will not return to this game. Copeland on his way to the line.
That last time you saw Copeland on the post up. Now he's going to the line for 2.
And he CW will hit the first. Tomorrow, season finale of CW women's basketball. Clemson out west to take on Stanford. That's 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, only on the CW. Women getting ready for their tournament.
Copeland's had a solid game. I like the way he plays, all-around game with the scoring, the assists. I mean, we've seen him. He's got a great feel for the game.
Got 13 points in the game, and there's Harrelson, and that'll be goaltending. Harrelson with 8 here in the second half after scoring just 2 in the opening.
And you saw Harrison just went down and put his shoulder down and went. Watch the penetration. Ube is a little late right then. I think that's one of the things that with Lupin not in the game, put more pressure in trying to get downhill and force North Carolina State guards to have to help.
All right, 4-point game. Exactly midway through this second half. 10 minutes to go. Both these teams playing for very different reasons, but a singular task, and that's to try and win. Notre Dame trying to get into the ACC tournament. Arsenault, boy, that's a nice little fadeaway.
It was, and I thought that Notre Dame did a good job in how they were playing that pick and roll, but Arsenault put the ball on the floor, gets to the lane, and rises up.
Tell you what, he has not had one field goal made in a game in almost a month, and so this is a big breakout game again for Arsenault, the former Houston Cougar. Copeland.
Oh, nice.
Arsenault did not have an angle to get it off.
Good D by Serta to stay with him.
Force out. And now lines the other way, lays it off for Harrelson. One-on-one against Copeland. And contact, and that'll go against Copeland.
And Harrelson's just putting his head down and just going for it. That last time, he just bullied through 2 guys from North Carolina State. Watch this last preview. Watch. A little hesitation, realizes I'm going to get downhill, and just basically bullies past Copeland.
How did that go on Copeland?
You see right now, aggressive 8 points, perfect from the field. The second half.
You know, he was so overshadowed, first of all, by his teammate Marcus Burton, right, who was off to a great start, then gets injured against TCU in December, 10th game of the year. And then this kid just turns it on, but with all the other great freshmen in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and there's a list of them. I mean, the kid DeRitter at Virginia, you know about Wilson and Boozer, Corey scoring 23 a game.
Well, and I think that what you've seen is that that's where the league has gotten to be so much better. You know, we've talked before, and that especially when it comes to tournament time, ACC has struggled with getting maybe 3, 4, 5 if you're lucky. Right now, with the talent pool and the way these teams have played right now, I would say if you look at it, you probably get 8 teams in that's showing that the talent pool is so much better.
Air ball by Holloman. Tell you the team that is starting to really make a run late at getting into the tournament is Cal.
Yes.
Totally under the radar.
They are. They're a team, especially at home, and they've been able to string together winning on the road because they've made it really difficult for teams going out west. But right now, they have picked it up.
That's Mark Madsen out there.
Yep.
That dude was a player, wasn't he? Tough-nosed, hard-nosed player. Played, of course, at Stanford. There's that fadeaway. And this time too strong. Batted out to Harrelson. Shrewsbury passed it up. This guy won't pass it up. Off the back of the iron. That'd have been a big one right there.
It would have.
Arsenault, his game is going to the basket.
Yeah.
He draws a line. Trip to the line on a foul by Sundgren.
He's played well this afternoon, and again, with the fact that how Notre Dame has done a better job and how they're able to come out on the threes. He said last time, had Sandro on his backside, realized he can get downhill. Sandro a little late. Arsenault has shown it, and again, how they have done. This has been a good afternoon, especially for the guards from North Carolina State.
3 years in Houston for Arsenault under the, boy, you talk about one of the great coaches, I think, in the history of basketball is Kelvin Sampson. Tomorrow, some of the biggest names in tennis take the court. Big serves, Vegas atmosphere. Don't miss the MGM Tennis Slam presented by Capital One. Tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the CW.
Hey, you were talking about Kelvin Sampson. I mean, they've got a really good guard in Flemings. I really like him, the point guard out there. You know, some talk that he may be a lottery pick. But back to this game, Notre Dame right now been able to keep this game relatively close. Picked up their defense. Definitely use a real 3-ball right here to cut this lead down.
Harrelson, oh my, what a blender.
With the big fella in the blender. Little tippy toe action. Lubin was like, hey, you know what? Oh, the help side.
This Harrelson, man, we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Didn't get to start today, but his first game back. And that's off of Lubin's foot. And here comes Harrelson the other way, down by 4. He's going to the rack. You know that.
Absolutely.
He wanted a goaltending call there. And Harrelson healthy again. And he is trying to bring Notre Dame back.
You see, watch Lubin say, now you see me, now you don't. Big fella, you better call for some help, boy. I got you in the blender. Got him on his tippy toes.
Second half for this electrifying freshman.
And you needed someone to step up, and you talk about Notre Dame, the fact they needed someone to step up for him. And Jalen Harrelson comes back in a little slower in that first half, but picked it up in the second. You've seen every time he's gotten it, he is trying to get downhill. He's been aggressive, and he's realizing that if I can build up momentum and put a big fella like this, realize that anytime you switch a big on me, I'm going for mine. And look at the stats. Started out slow, 2 points, 1 for 3. And that second half has been perfect from the field, 5 for 5 for 12. First game back since February 20th.
And he has 14 points in only 15 minutes. Remember, he got in foul trouble in that first half. Three of 3 now from the line is Jalen Harrelson. We mentioned the highest ranked recruit in Notre Dame basketball history from Anderson, Indiana.
So, Tom, what we've seen is, as of late, as he makes that last one, Harrison's been more aggressive. What you're going to see is North Carolina State have to make an adjustment. Now you're going to watch that 3-ball start to fall for Notre Dame because they've got to make an adjustment and sending more players at him.
Well, they got to switch now. Harrelson is guarding Lubin. And Lubin says he wants the ball down there, but Copeland going to take it himself. And he draws a foul from Serta. I mean, look, Serta is an outstanding offensive player. He's a good defensive player, but when a guy the body type of Copeland, he just wears guys down.
And you see at 6'6", he understands if I can get down to a point and then use that pump fake, and then you're biting on it, that's going to give me an opportunity to go to the free throw line. And again, when you talk about Copeland and what he's done, I've seen a lot of maturity in his game since his days at Syracuse, because I thought that he was a player with a lot of different with ability. But when you look at his level of assists and wins, I mean, this is a guy that's second in the lead and averaging almost 7. And right now, when you look at what he's been able to do tonight, well, this afternoon, 14 points and 7 dimes.
And he's 7 of 8 from the free throw. And by the way, at the 7-minute mark now, Serta had to leave the game because he has 4 fouls. And you were just talking about, you know, with the penetration by Harrelson, you kick it out to Serta. Well, now he's out of the game. And they try to muscle down low with Muhammad. We've seen a lot of isolation stuff by both teams with their guards.
But here's the thing is that when you look at Muhammad and also Harrelson, North Carolina State guards, even on one end, they've been backing down the other guards for Notre Dame. They have not been able to stop Harrelson and Muhammad from getting into the paint.
And Muhammad given a freebie and cannot finish it. He's only 21 of 39 from the line this season. Well, when you get those ones at the charity stripe, you got to make them. Here's Copeland. Little shimmy spin.
And then he stares at Harrelson and was like, my man, you may want to call for a little help.
Well, Harrelson did that to Lubin.
He did. A little payback for his big man.
Wide open. And Muhammad, that's just not his game. And NC State knows that. He's working on the bigger.
Good help.
Yeah, real good help by Holloman. And a Wolfpack leading by 6. It's been up and down, up and down. State already was 75. They average 84 per game. 6 minutes to go, 10 on the shot clock. Oh, boy. Copeland is something else, man. That is a 20-point effort in this one for Lubin.
Tom, I'm going to tell you, you know how when you go to the park and you know what, you get to the end of the game where you get a little bit of ISO, Copeland's at the park, he's like, you know, I got it, a little spin right there. He's like, I got this. You better send help. And a little dump off to Lubin.
Look at today's key play brought to you by Hilton for the stay.
And we talked about the fact that for the guards for North Carolina State, you see the crossover where there Copeland was like, hey, you know what? You're not going to send help. You do. I'm going to go ahead and give you the nifty little pass on my man Lubin. Forced to help. He's been crafty again. How he's going. His afternoon, 17 points and the 8 dimes. And we showed the graphic that when he gets 7 or more assists, how well this team does.
Well, they put Serta, does Notre Dame, back into the game, trailing by 8. Serta defended by Williams. And here's Shrewsbury. And that'll be a bump on Lubin, so it'll be a 1-and-1. That is the 8th foul. Make it 9 fouls now against NC State.
Well, and here's the thing is that we talked earlier with Harrelson and how he was getting downhill, racked up the fouls. And so if you're Notre Dame, you got to be able to make Lubin pay.
Today after NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series from Coda, Texas. And then after that, we're back on the hardwood. ACC basketball, Syracuse and Wake Forest. That's coming up at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. Rebound by Town. He doesn't even go right back up. And then lost a handle.
And good hustle by Town, but I thought that he should have gone right back up. And by the time he realized that no one's around, active hands allows North Carolina State. And Imes almost comes up with a steal.
And that's an over back. The ball was tipped, but Copeland had gotten possession of it before on the shooting side of the midcourt strike.
And watch the hustle by Logan Imes. He gets up, push the ball, and then right there, you see the step back by Copeland. That turnover. Great opportunity now for Notre Dame. I'm putting the ball in Harrelson's hands right now because he has shown at times he could get downhill, and there's no one from North Carolina State can stop him getting to the rack. They off to double.
Serta, a little floater in the lane, comes up short. 7-point lead, 5 minutes to go. And the Wolfpack 5 minutes away from their 11th ACC win of the season. Only 4 times in the last 35 years has NC State won 10 or more in the league. And that's a big bucket by Darian Williams.
And I understand for Notre Dame, you realize is that for North Carolina State, they got 3 other guys out there that can shoot 40% from behind the arc. But you cannot allow the guards from North Carolina State to continue to just back those guards down.
Serta going to go to the rack. He got bumped, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Serta, since he's been back into the game that last time, penetration. And again, you're going to have to make these free throws, but you got to find them some way if you're Notre Dame to come up with some stops. As you see, the month of February, how hot he's been.
Yep.
Versus November through January.
Well, he has been lights out. He's been among the best players in the conference.
Well, and again, when you look at when the fact that they've had the injuries and you realize you don't have Marcus Burton and then you needed someone else to step up, he has been that secondary and primary scorer for Notre Dame when you see the numbers that he's put up.
He's got 20 today.
You see right now, it looks like Notre Dame is falling back to what looks like a 2-3. Smart move because it takes away the ISO ball.
Holloman for 3. And now Notre Dame with 4:10 to go. A chance to cut into the 7-point lead. And there's Harrelson right to the basket.
Harrelson on the backside of Tout. Tout cleared the lane again for him. And again, for Notre Dame, you play in this 2-3 zone and you rebound, cut this lead down to 5.
Holloman along the baseline. Got a hand. Harrelson, how about that play? Diving to save it. Serta for 3. Oh, that would have been a big one for the Fighting Irish.
What about that hustle play by Harrelson to keep that ball alive?
Hit his head on the floor. He's hurting a little bit down there. Williams into the lane. Oh, he's been money when they've needed one.
He has a nice penetration, realizing he can get it off the glass.
Lead back to 7, 3:15 to go. Harrelson kicking it to Serta, passes up to 3. Another floater. He's tried a couple of those, and neither one has been able to fall for him.
Yeah, missed opportunity there because of what North Carolina State is doing on that penetration by Harrelson, opting to double.
Well, this is an isolation play now again as they've gone back to man-to-man. And they're just going to let Williams. Makes a nice pass there, but stepping out of bounds is Copeland.
And Tom, when you realize that, you know, you're fighting for your playoff hopes, and again, you want plays big like that. Watch the hands by Harrelson. Keeps that baby back in. Irish are still fighting.
Our player of the game brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers 24/7 protection when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycles. Learn more at Progressive.com. You can pick a whole bunch of guys for state.
And we've talked about the fact that with that talented guard core, I mean, Quadir Copeland and what he's done and how he impacts his game, not only with the scoring, but just his presence. I mean, you see some of the passes that he's made. You know, and we talked about the fact that with the ISO and just how well he balances the game. You see for the afternoon, 17 points, 8 dimes, efficient 5 for 8. And again, when you look at this North Carolina State team, you know, we came in talking about how they shoot the threes, but it's how they get those quality of shots because they've got multiple guys that can star in their roles. It just so happens right now, Quadir Copeland is definitely taking his team and put him on his back as of late.
Well, Copeland has 17, Lubin has 20, Williams has 15. Been a quiet game for McNeil, but they haven't needed him to score. Harrelson has been the story, continues to be for the Fighting Irish.
He had Holloman on the island down there. Copeland a little late. That last time North Carolina State opting not to come over and trap. And you see Will Wade opting for a quick timeout.
Harrelson has 18 points in this second half.
Well, he's come out, and I thought that he's been big, especially in the second half. And you see, he's just understanding that he's got a little mouse in the house action over here, realizes that play a little bully ball, play through contact, and get downhill. And that's one of the things that you've seen is that he's just strong. He's been putting his head down. And he's put the Irish back in this game with just a little over 2 minutes left to go in the game.
You know, you look, ever since Burton went down, that was back in December, they knew that Harrelson was going to be a big part of this team, so highly recruited. But he's had 11 games where he's had 17 or more. He's had 7 games where he's had 20 or more. So this is nothing new for Harrelson.
But here's the thing is that at his height and then the level of athleticism that he has, he's able to get wherever he wants, and there's not many players in the conference that can stop him one-on-one, as you've seen against a good North Carolina State team. And what you've seen is that the numbers right now, the 8 for 10, they're going to have to put the ball in his hands, especially in the gut of the game, especially with Serta on the floor, as you see Notre Dame fall back into that zone.
Well, we're down to 2:17. McNeil for 3, not there. Lubin tried to get the slam, but it looked like Tout got a hand on it. And now Notre Dame a chance to cut it to the lead. Shrewsbury.
And again, great read by Imes. Had Shrewsbury over there. We talked about the fact that coming in this game had been struggling. Told you the fact, got some points to go. Now, right now, Irish got cut this game down to 2.
2-point game, 2 minutes to go, and way off the mark is McNeil Jr., who has been silent here in the second half. Harrelson to the basket, and
Mr. Chippy.
That was for the tie.
Mr. Chippy, he got down early. Man, wish you'd have that one back.
Oh, boy, it's hard to believe the half he's had, and that one didn't go down. All right, 1:30 to go. Here's Williams. 3 threes in a row do not fall for the Wolfpack.
And it's the zone that Notre Dame has slipped into in the last 2 by McNeil Jr. Opportunity now. Tie this game up, will go up with a 3.
And it's Harrelson isolated with McNeil, who cannot stay with him. He can't get the fall, but Tout knocked it off. It looked like Copeland Yep, it'll be NC State basketball. I mean, Notre Dame basketball. That's 2 in a row. I mean, point-blank rage for the Irish, for Harrelson.
A little chippies right there. Michael Shrewsbury opting to call a quick timeout. Wants to understand. You understand you got to make a good play. And watch this last period. You see crossover, got right downhill. Just couldn't come up with it. That was the tie. And then this last one, off balance right there. Just couldn't come out there, and at least Tout had a presence of mind, active hands to give them another shot at it.
You know, Notre Dame has had so many close games this year. In fact, in 16 losses, 6 of those losses have been by 5 points or fewer. So, you know, all the talk about Shrewsbury, is he on the hot seat, all that kind of thing. Look, Burton goes down injured, and I'm not sitting here defending the guy as a head coach. I mean, look, the AD's got to make that call. But even if you took 3 of those games that went 5 points either way, right? If you took 3 of those games, you're sitting there looking at a 15-win team.
Well, again, when you realize, too, you go back to that game where they were beating that good Virginia team by 19, they've had opportunities, but right now, great opportunity to get a good win, because this will be a quad 1 victory for them, something that they really, really need.
Well, they just need a win, period, trying to get in that ACC tournament, and a foul. If that's on Abel, I think he's fouled out of the game.
And right now, don't forget that Notre Dame is in the bonus.
Double bonus. But it's Tout. Now, here's the thing we talked about a couple of weeks ago, is Abel does foul out. You know, Shrewsbury walks a tightrope here, leaving Tout in games late in the game. You need him in there because he's such a great rebounder. But at the free throw line, he's 18 of 54.
Well, hey, that was a better attempt there, because that last time, as you see, Copeland tried to get in there in between. And Tout shoots it at 33%.
He's 1 of 17 over his last 8 games. And he missed them both. And we might see more of that down the stretch here with a minute left.
Well, you and I did a game when they played against Florida State, where they opted to do that at the end of the game as well.
All right, we're under a minute to go. There's been 2 missed layups by Notre Dame and 2 missed free throws by Notre Dame with a chance to tie the game.
I also understand this zone, Florida State missed their last 3 three-point attempts.
And this one is off the mark. Out of bounds. And it's Notre Dame basketball with 36 seconds left. All right, what are you doing here?
So if anything, I'm subbing Tout out right now so they don't foul him, and it looks like they're going to bring in someone for him.
Yep, they're going to bring in Ryder Frost.
And what I'm doing is that I'm going to get Harrelson the ball. I'm going to give Harrelson the ball and force North Carolina State to make the decision if they're going to let them get downhill or they're going to trap. And then somewhere I've got a 3-point shooter ready to get that ball to lock and load.
Well, they switch off, double team Harrelson, who's guarded over there by Lubin. And here comes Harrelson, spins his way and got fouled. He'll go to the line with 19 seconds left. It'll be a 2-shot foul.
And great opportunity again, because you saw the switch out with Lubin guarding Harrelson, and then we've talked all afternoon long, is that when he gets that clear out, once you got 3-point shooters there, they opt out to double, and he goes downhill, draws the foul. Now you've got 2 important free throws for Harrelson.
And he's only a 64% free throw shooter, though 4 of 4 today. One more to go to try and tie this thing up, and of course, 19.1 to go. So many of these games for the Fighting Irish this year. 6 losses. In games determined by 5 or fewer. We are tied. 19 seconds. Who's getting it?
And here's the thing, is that right now, if I'm Notre Dame, I stay in this 2-3 zone. And I think that what you got to do is, you see Will Wade is going to call and draw up a play. You got to have McNeil Jr. in there, even though he missed his last 2. I think that you go for a 3 to win it.
There's some serious trash talking going on between Copeland and Serta. Timeout, man.
All afternoon long.
All right, again, for NC State, trying to get to 11 wins, thinking about a double bye in the ACC tournament. And then for Notre Dame, look, with 3 games to go, including this one, there are all kinds of different scenarios about how they could get in. The top 15 out of 18 get in. Bottom line is, the games you have left, you got to find a way to win if you want to get in.
Well, here's the thing is, I think for both teams, if you look at Notre Dame right now, if I'm Michael Shrewsbury, I'm telling them, hey, we're going to play the zone, but we have to also make sure that when that shot goes up, you got to turn and box out, because we've seen on multiple occasions that Lubin has crept in there for offensive rebound. And for NC State, I draw up something where you try to get to the paint and a kick out. And I'm also telling Lubin, hey, crash the boards, because now what I understand is I got 4 dudes out there that can shoot the ball at a 40% clip. And I think that if you go give anybody an opportunity, probably McNeil Jr., even though he's missed his last 2, because he leads the ACC in field goal 3-point percentage.
Now, the money players for State here in the second half, when it has needed a basket the most, have been Darian Williams along with Copeland. They have been the money guys down the stretch here.
But here's the thing, is that if they run a man-to-man, I'm definitely giving it to Copeland and let him go ahead and give me a bucket. If they're playing a zone,
they're playing zone,
then I'm trying to get some type of penetration and then a kick out.
All right, here we go. 11 seconds left. Copeland with the basketball. The screen by Williams. And Copeland dribbles into the paint. Holloman passes up a 3. Loses a handle. Got it back for the lead. And we are headed to overtime here in South Bend, Indiana. Williams had a wide open look. And he shoots 41% from downtown, but he came up short.
All right, you got a good look at it. Remember, I talked about the fact that if you're North Carolina State, you wanted to get some type of penetration, and they did just that. Notre Dame did a good job of being able to come up, but now, you look at it, we're going into overtime. Watch this last overtime, maybe this possession. Watch the penetration, and you get the kick out. Could have shot that one there, and then you see good penetration, good hands, and then you get a wide open shot by Williams. I thought that Holloman could have shot it right there. Watch the active hands, they're reaching by Ives, still gets it. You get a good look, clean look, it comes up short.
You know, you got to give it up to Notre Dame here. I mean, here is a team, to quote their head coach, a season from hell. After taking the worst loss here in South Bend since the late 1800s for a Notre Dame team, when they were drilled mightily by Duke. You've had guys out injured. You're already at 12-16. There were a couple of times today where it looked like State was going to pull away and nail this thing down, but the Irish just kept hanging in there.
Well, they've shown a level of resiliency and fight, because you've seen is how even in the first half, the back and forth and how they were able to get the threes to go. You had multiple guys step up, and then Harrelson picking up his offense in that second half. And then I think that 2-3 zone that they shifted in, that was a little bit of a momentum builder for Notre Dame. So now when you go into this overtime, I'm looking at the fact that we stick with this 2-3 if I'm Notre Dame. I continue to keep the ball in Harrelson's hands because he's been able to get going. On the North Carolina State team side, I think that we have to find a way to be able to penetrate that zone, and we got to make down shots. I mean, we got guys out here who can make the shots. Right now,
they missed 4 threes down the stretch, all of them wide open. And Tout controls the tip. Here's Harrelson as we begin overtime, tied at 81. And there's Harrelson into the lane using that body. And Holloman stripped it out of there. Shot clock at 15. Harrelson gets it again. And blocked. Here's Shrewsbury. Harrelson on the rebound, and he misses the layup. That's his third one in the last minute and a half of play. As great as he's been today, those have been big misses for the Irish. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Holloman. They have gone, and I mean stone cold from three-point land.
But here's the thing is that when Notre Dame went into that zone, I think that it knocked the rhythm out for North Carolina State because you had a lot of guys that weren't getting shots. And even before, now what it is that they have not. And they've gone into that good pass and another blown layup.
And another inbounds play drawn up by Wade. Possession error will give it to NC State. I'll tell you, some of those plays designed by Coach Wade and his staff underneath the basket. They have had three phenomenal looks. The first two they made, that one they missed.
And you had a wide open layup and you just couldn't come up with it. So now what it looks like is that North Carolina State is going to have the ball.
And here's another one of those inbound plays. Let's see who they draw up this time. Trying to get McNeil off the screen. A minute has passed here in the overtime. Holloman to the rack, left hand, can't fall. And here comes Ives, 2-on-1 the other way. He'll give it up in the corner. Serta,
bam! Serta realizes that on that break, he runs to the three-point line. Ives knew that all he had to do is keep the defender occupied. Notre Dame strikes blood first.
And it's the first lead of this game for Notre Dame. We were tied only two other times at the start. And then at 25 apiece, McNeil answers at the other end for the Wolfpack.
And you knew it was just a matter of time, Tom, that McNeil Jr. was going to get going. We talk about the fact that this is the dude that leads the ACC in percentage, shooting at 40%, 42% a clip.
84 apiece. Serta. Between the legs. Gets it right back from Shrewsbury. Downtown.
And again, Serta doesn't. His range is when he gets inside the city limits. Realize that you allow him to be able to pick it up. 2 consecutive threes by Cole Serta.
McNeil again. Rims out. 2:40 to go, and Harrelson will bring it up for the Fighting Irish, leading by 3.
See Serta call for the rock. He's putting this one up. He'll shoot it from there.
Yeah, he might. He's going into the lane this time, looking for a foul. And Holloman is saying, you got to be kidding me.
We talked about Cole Serta and then watch the penetration by Logan Ives. He runs right for that corner and knocks the first one down. We talk about this dude does not lack for confidence. You give me the rock. You give me enough time to get it up. I'm putting it up. And again, if you're Michael Shrewsbury, when you get to this overtime, you want playmakers to step up. And right now, Cole Serta with the opportunity to go to the line for 2.
There have only been 3 Notre Dame players that have scored points in this half, if you can believe that. You've got Harrelson with 20, Serta with 18, and Shrewsbury with 12. Serta in the game has 27. We've been here the last 2 weeks. He has scored 64 points in those 2 games.
Well, and again, as you see him miss that second one, 2-possession game for Notre Dame.
Kick it out. Passing it up is Williams. Left hand to the basket. State needed that 2-point game.
It was, and you saw Serta come in and chase Williams off, and I like Serta. Serta chased him off the 3. Williams was able to get to the bucket.
Harrelson. Now Copeland's a bigger body on him. And a foul is called against Copeland.
Yeah, but you see Copeland has to keep his head down. That last time he realized that Harrelson was trying to bully him. Level of physicality now is going to give Harrelson an opportunity to go to the line.
And you have now Copeland with 4. You have Darian Williams with 4. We know that Serta has 4 for Notre Dame.
Opportunity now for Harrelson to make it a 2-possession game.
Took 1 of 2 a moment ago. He is a perfect 8 of 8 from the free throw line, and Harrelson in his return to the lineup now with 24 points.
You see right now, Penetration.
They're going to try McNeil again. Missed them both in a row.
Oh, and it seems like they're going to call a foul. Oh, that's on Braden Shrewsbury on Lubin.
And it'll be the double bonus.
Oh, watch this right there. You see Tout down there. Oh, wow. I don't know if I saw that. Is that on Tout?
Yep. Lubin at the line. Got that funky little hitch, but like you said, Brian Oliver, it makes no difference if you're making him. He is 5 of 6 from the line.
Again, we talked about his game already for the afternoon. 5 for 6, 21 points.
21 points to go with 9 rebounds. And he got them both. Boy, after those 2 misses from 3 by McNeil, and you get that break on the call, and able to trim the lead down to 2 as now Tout. This is going to be an offense for defense, saying now Tout the rest of the way.
And smart play by Michael Shrewsbury. And again, Harrelson, a little pick and roll action. You leave sort of wide. Bam!
Oh my
Are you kidding me?
This guy's unbelievable. He is unbelievable.
Heady play. Understanding they're trying to double.
He's got 30. Williams off the mark. You can see that from here, knocked out of bounds, and it's Notre Dame basketball leading by 5. NC State just can't buy the 3 here down the stretch, but how about Serta?
Well, here's the thing you got to realize is that he is the guy that's lit you up in the overtime. You don't leave him. You're more preoccupied with Harrelson and then not helping. And that last time, you see right now, he's got 10 in overtime.
10. And that's in 4 minutes. And Harrelson's going to the free throw line.
But here's the thing is that if you're Michael Shrewsbury, you got something because that little pick and roll action right there between Cole Serta and then Jalen Harrelson, you're forcing it to pick your poison.
You called it a long time ago about Harrelson, the way he was playing in the second half. You said now it's going to force State to collapse and find the 3.
And that's what they've done now. That last time they opted to stay with Serta. Now you got Harrelson drawing the foul, going to the line for 2.
And Harrelson 8 of 8 before that one. Now 9 of 9 as Tout will come in. And he's strictly in there to play defense and rebound the ball. State in big trouble now.
Oh,
first miss from the line today in 10 tries by Harrelson. We're under a minute. And it's a 6-point lead. Williams too strong. And it looked like Lubin got fouled, and he's going to get a chance with the clock stopped.
Yeah, but here's
down to 4 points.
Here's the thing that Notre Dame, you still dodge another bullet. You had Williams wide open for a 3. I was going to say typically you don't need a quick 3, but the way that North Carolina State shoots it, you get a wide open one. And then watch down there. You see Tout, and he and Lubin tussling down is going to give Lubin an opportunity to go to the line again.
You know, what did we tell you before the game? When NC State shoots 38% or better from 3, they're 13-1. When they shoot under 38% from 3, NC State is 6-8. And right now, because of down the stretch in the second half, and here in the overtime in which it's 1 of 7, they are 30% for the game.
And I think that a lot of it has been that transition to that 2-3 zone by Notre Dame, because you've seen multiple guys from North Carolina State miss a lot of 3s in the gun of the game. You've had McNeil Jr., you've had Williams, and then you also have not been able to come up with those easy buckets, and you see North Carolina State extending their trap right now.
Full-court pressure and trying to get it across the timeline, just able to do so. Shrewsbury, very good free throw shooter. He'll keep the ball in his hands as the shot clock is down to 12, game clock 32. Well, now you're not going to foul. Hines is going to put it up. Short.
Good hustle.
In the rebound.
Good hustle.
Fresh shot clock, and now they're going to have to foul. And Serta, as Copeland will foul out of the game. Quadir Copeland with his 5th. And he will lead with 17 points, 9 assists in the game. You know, they just never gave him the ball late in the second half, and not at all the overtime.
Well, I think that when we saw before Notre Dame went into that zone, when they were playing man-to-man, he had his way. I think that the deciding factor right now is you see Cole Serta have a sensational afternoon with that free throw. The adjustment of going to that zone really paid his dividends. You see him knock down the second one for Notre Dame.
12 points in the overtime. Notre Dame has scored 15 points in less than 5 minutes. Holloman will fire it up there, off the mark, and that's going to do it. So a season from hell for Coach Shrewsbury, at least maybe moves out of there into a little bit of purgatory as Notre Dame in overtime stuns NC State. Final score of 96-90, a wild one. And how about ND?
And how about Notre Dame comes up and get a game? We talked about the fact that you go from playing in hell to get to purgatory. What a huge game for Cole Serta.
Thanks to Johnny O, official apparel partner of CW Courtside Saturday. For Brian Oliver, our entire crew, Tom Brenneman, thanks for watching. NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series coming up from Texas next. The Fighting Irish in OT win it. So long. Boy, what a wild one. Overtime today in South Bend. 96-90. The Irish stun NC State. And Tom, thank you very much. We were here 2 weeks ago. Cole Serta had 37 points. Today he finishes with 32, 12 of those in the overtime in Notre Dame's win.
And he went off because, again, we talked about the fact that Notre Dame, you needed someone to come up and have a big afternoon against a good North Carolina State team. And he did just that because, again, we talked about the fact that the three-point ball got going early and then he went quiet. At the end of that second half, he was able to find some rhythm, came up big. You see his afternoon, 32 points. You mentioned the fact 23 in the second half, and the fact that when you look at what he was able to do, definitely gives this Notre Dame team an opportunity to continue to play for their playoff lives.
Yep, absolutely.
We're going to talk about losses. NC State on the road at Notre Dame today. NC State coming off an ugly 29-point loss. Meanwhile, Notre Dame coming off a 44-point loss to Duke at home. 6 minutes to play in the second half. Pack up 6. Ben Allen Lubin lays it in. He carried the pack today. 4 minutes to go. It's a 7-point game until Jalen Harrelson takes it himself for the bucket. His first game back after missing 3, and he was so important today, Joel.
Yeah, he was huge. When you talk about down the stretch, you don't have Marcus Burton. You need somebody that you can go to get you a bucket. Jalen Harrelson and Cole Serta just stepped up in big ways.
So can Braden Shrewsbury. He hits that 3, and then at the end of regulation, it was tied. Darian Williams had a chance to win it at the buzzer for NC State, but he can't, so we go to overtime. 3 minutes left in overtime. We're knotted at 84. Enter Cole Serta. Deep 3.
I mean, he had 27 at that point. Guard the guy.
Puts the Irish up 3, and in OT, it was really just the Serta
Guard
show.
that man.
I think they forgot where he was on the floor.
That's why they're going home with the L.
He had 12 of the Irish's 15 points just in overtime, finished with 32 points, and Notre Dame pulls off a massive win, 96-90 over NC State. And look, credit where credit is due. Notre Dame just suffered its worst home loss since literally the late 1800s the other night to Duke. Then they bounced back today, taking NC State into overtime and coming out with a victory. What was the difference today? How did they do it against the Pack?
Well, it helps when you're knocking down shots.
Right.
That's first and foremost. Their ability to get to the rim with Jalen Harrelson and knock down shots on the perimeter with Cole Serta was impressive. Those guys combined for 57 in this game, absolutely filling it up. But I thought their execution down the stretch, when the game was on the line in crunch time, NC State, honestly, they folded. 2 for 11 in overtime. You saw Notre Dame finding a way to get it done, getting to the free throw line, knocking down threes, being efficient in overtime. When crunch time came along, it's not been this way all season, but Notre Dame had the winning habits.
Yeah, for NC State, it's just like The Red Reckoning is going downhill, and they got to get it together. Look, the thing about NC State is, in that last game against Virginia, they had all the antics on the sideline, guys pushing and whatnot. But then they come out in this game and they don't have an edge. Where's the edge? You got to have that. I think we're not worrying about the X and O's. You come into this situation, you go to Virginia, and you get blasted. And then you come into this game, no energy, and you think you're just going to walk into Notre Dame and they're going to give it to you. This team is fighting for something. They're trying to continue to prolong their season in the ACC tournament. Right. You got to be able to have those winning ways, and you got to keep them. And NC State has to get back to that. Yeah, they've lost 4 of their last 5. What jumps off the page to you in this stretch here?
Where's the edge? Yeah, where's the sense of urgency?
Thing, right?
You know, you're supposed to be playing your best basketball come tournament time. You're supposed to be building confidence. I think these guys were thinking about their next game. They got a big one against Duke. I wouldn't be surprised if they played well in that game, but you are absolutely shooting yourself in the foot to lose to Notre Dame, to lose 4 out of 5, and just not approach these games with a professional and winner's mentality each and every time is killing them. Yeah.
Guess who's up next for NC State on Monday night?
I mean, you got Duke. Yeah,
you got the Duke Blue Devils coming to your place. So you better bring the edge when you're playing Duke, or else it ends up getting away from you really, really fast.